Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Roberto, and I'm in the house. It's so great to see everyone. How is everyone, honestly? What does everyone else think of Dads and Lads Battle Time? I want to know what your thoughts are. Like, tell me how you feel about it if it becomes a reality. I think that's quite interesting. Let me go. This is the bit. Um, Sounds good. Okay, well, that went really well, so everything's fine. If they combine Dads and Lads, they should be have a new destruction book on the way, right? I agree. I super agree. Um, like, yeah, I really agree. But because then what would that give us? That would give us Dads and Lads, Uruks. Is that it for destruction? 2 books? Uh, yeah, I'm all for it. If I might convince this Gargant players to try out more than 4 models, hooray! Um, okay, let's look at the ogre. Let's look at the ogre units, and let's look about ogre units that have sucked for a long time. Yeah. Yeah, I would love it. It feels closer to Ogre Kingdoms from Total War 3. I agree. So I think yeah, and it gives them a range for new destruction books as well. But then I also feel like you got good value from the Orc Warclans book, right? You've got a variety of armies. Oh yeah, Gits. The 3 destruction book, 8,000 order book. We still need Goblin Pirates as a sort of counterpart to Orders KO, but instead of shooting fast, hit and run away. Yeah, I agree. We need a lot. We need a lot. And that's kind of like the weird fucking. Okay, let's just take a moment, right? We need a lot. Here are ogres, and I was maybe gonna do a 3D print show today, but there wasn't enough like that. The design, it's too early in the month; they're not all out. But just taking a moment, just this month alone, yeah. From you've got this Dragon Empire set of miniatures coming out from Titan Forge. So again, an army. Artisan Guild have got hold on, whatever this is going to be. There's some Demon Hunters, and we talk about Dorelia Van Dent's dad, but this has just got all of the Demon Hunters. There's Lady Demon Hunters, like a range of miniatures. There we go. There's a Booba one as always from these guys. These are werewolf ones, right? So that's just this month. Hero Forge have got not yeah, this is Hero Forge, isn't it? Oh yeah, this is what they're called. So they've got Arthurian legends, so we've got Bretonians come back. This is why I feel like back in the day, before all Claybeast have got a big new monster out, which is super fun. Archvillain has got whatever the hell these are, the Grief Harvest Coven, which is kind of like the Witcher. I don't know what they're called. Big, rotten. I don't know. They're in the Witcher, aren't they? They're the 3 hag ladies or something, and they're probably quite D&D esque as well. Can we afford to pay for 3D print at home anymore? Agreed, Leo Crusher. Agreed. But the point I'm trying to make is, right, is everyone's excited about like I don't know. I think Games Workshop is falling off. And I'm not like Crohn's. Thank you, Gollum. Yes, the Weird Sisters. Thank you, Yes Meatballs. I love that you're all smarter than me. We're a unit, and you guys are the engine and the genius, and I'm the stupid mouth. I'm the mouth of Sauron. Um, that's how it's done. The Norns. My point that I was trying to make, if I was even making a point, which at this point, who knows? Who knows? One of the best moments of The Witcher 3 OST, Ladies of the Woods. Yes, that's what I'm saying, Marcus Rock. The Ladies of the Woods. Because look, they do look like that, right? Like the Ladies of the Woods. They've got like a cauldron. Okay, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I don't know if I said this yet. I'm going to say it. Games Workshop's fallen off. They release too slow. Their system, they're too old. They're an old paradigm system. They So let's talk about 5 or 6 years ago when they would hype. They would hype something, right? They're like, oh shit, it's going to be this thing. You weren't getting 12 fantasy sets and releases every single month. But now they're like, we've released One new model. And I'm like, give a fuck. Like, look at this on my screen. Like, how can you make me give a fuck? What's the turnaround for these 3D designers? You get a new set of miniatures like this every month. First time I've seen this, my LGS has a rack of packaged 3D prints from a local company. Yeah, that's what I want to do at the arena. That's what I want to do at the arena. I want to just have loads of 3D sculpts. People can just come in and be like, that's cool, I want to buy it. Like, I basically want this massive shit once a month rather than weekly garbage. Like, I don't know, like, I'm just saying, we're all talking about, like, are they going to do some new models for ogres? We already know they're not doing new models for ogres. We already know this is going to be, like, the second ogre book without any new miniatures. Third ogre book, really, for Games Workshop without any new miniatures. Yes, Scrivo! It's like the new Soulblight Gravelord's character. I don't read Sigmar lore, and there's plenty of amazing Vampire Lord SQ models out there. Why am I going to pay nearly £20 for something I can print out for 50p? Correct, Dismal Wow. That doesn't mean, again, the company should fail and it should fall apart and people should, like, fucking go into a chasm of despair and hatred. That isn't what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to think about the vibe, because advertising is a vibe. Like, all advertising is a vibe. Memes are a vibe. Like, things fall off. Like, it just doesn't become cool anymore. Like, that's what trends are, right? Gorblin, forgetting they could revamp half the ogre range with one single kit. They could literally revamp the ogre range, right? Like, you could just do ogres, variety of weapons, range redone. Correct. They got the Tyrant last book. I don't really count a single model, Hazel, but, like, I agree with you. Like, it was a new miniature, and a very cool miniature in of itself. Okay? But my point is I just don't think that they can get me with the hype now. Like, maybe that's just me, but they just can't do it. You just can't do it. You cannot hype me up. Because, like, these, I bought these models in 8th edition fantasy. I think I bought these models 8 years ago. You can't make me excited. Like, I love them. I love them. I love ogres. I love ogres. I know it's, what's his face's thing? The great and the good. The big. The big. What's the big's name? I'm not moving on until I remember. I don't know why. Hey, whoa. Oh, my God, thank you. That was nowhere. It was nowhere in my brain. It just wasn't in there. Okay. Haywo. I know that's Haywo's thing, but I love ogres. I love these chunky, especially as I become more like one as time goes on. As I become more like a big chunkster, yeah, I get more into these guys. Firebelly, unbelievable. These models are like 15 years old. Hello, Andrew Pepper Parsons. But my point is even if these get rolled into a book, like, give a fuck. Like, look how good the Butcher is. Still amazing. But I bought it 8 or 9 years ago. I don't want this Butcher. Like, there's some great 3D print ogres now too, yeah. Anyway, like, that isn't where I meant to go, just a stream of consciousness. That's where we ended up going. But, like, I'm excited because I think, like, so last ogre book, what wasn't good? Gluttons weren't good, no matter how much people told me they were going to be, they weren't. Iron Guts weren't good, only one person was able to make them good, that's Mr. Iron Gutsman. Lead Belchers, I thought might be okay, they weren't, and they sucked. Noblars were hilarious if you took like 400, but also weren't good. And also, who's going to paint that? Iron Blasters, apart from that one guy in wherever the hell it was, America, that somehow went 2 4-1s or 2 5-0s with a pure Iron Blaster build, which honestly boggles the mind. Like, boggles the mind. Not good, but also, what a great model. I get COVID as thing, but Sylvan's getting 4 new kits versus game and getting a Deathmaster resculpt on the fucking call of it, asking for £21 in sort of Shugo, I agree. AOS2, they got a pot and a Tyrant model. That's double what a lot of rages got. Scribble, I agree. Like, it's so funny. Like, like, I might just exclusive. I might like make another tabletop in 10 minutes, and then just keep reposting it on my Patreon every day. Like, and then tweeting it out, but like, check out this battle report. It's the same battle report you did last time. I'm like, don't know what to tell you. You guys seem to love that, so it's fine. Like, if you have to spam me in to make a fireball, it ain't good. Simple as that, right? No, if you have to spam, there isn't really spam. Like the only version of spam I can think that exists in Age of Sigmar is Big Stabber spam. That's the only one. Like everything else, I think is quite themey, and even that's themey. I don't know. I don't really believe in. I don't really believe in that word anymore. I don't know why. Like it just doesn't. Like when someone's like, someone took 30 Sentinels. I'm like, what? A full unit of Sentinels? Like cock spam. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fine. Yes. Cockatoo spam is one. Um. Does AOS have a rule of 3? Per short, it does not, and I don't think it needs it. I don't think it needs it because it isn't open to the same abuses available to 40k. 40k is very abusable, specifically, and also they put the rule of 3 in because like they were just too lazy to actually get rules right. Don't forget, rule 3 was literally, oh goodness me, we are bad at writing rules. So if we end up fucking up, what we'll do is we'll just make it so you can only take 3 of the good things. That's what they did. Like they were like, okay, that way we won't have to work too hard. That's fair. Anyway, look at how can they still sell Frost Sabers? These things are the ugliest things, maybe. No, they're not the ugliest, but they are rough looking. Rough looking. The old eel spam. Yeah, okay, Swaggy. That's a good point. That's well made. Well, although still fairly narrative. Like, that's like an Achillean army, right? Like, that's how it worked. Swaggy. Like, you know, someone came in the chat earlier asking for an all cavalry army. Sometimes you just want an all big lads army, an all cavalry army, an all infantry army, all monster army, because that's your theme. 40k is abusable as fuck, per sure. Yes, like it's just super abusable. So they have to put so much restriction in, right? Gorgeous, gorgeous. Am I right? Like, I'd be embarrassed if I was to sell Frost Sabers if I was a Games Workshop. They are awful compared to the rest of the range. Same with the Gorger. The Gorger, though, come on. Come on. I know your spell was obnoxious, but it was fun to play a king with all his knights. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. You look at the guy who took 60 Black Knights at Mank. That looked amazing on the table, though. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I really do think that themed armies, like cavalry armies and other stuff, so I'm not really like I like a mixed arms army, and some armies play very well by being mixed arms. I'm thinking of like Ossiarch Bone Reapers, Lumineth Realm Lords. Like their armies and their units are constructed so that you have like an infantry unit and a shooting unit and an artillery unit or like a monster unit. Like they play super well and they're really fun. But yesterday, one of the lists that I really liked was whatever his name was, Catacross, and then 10 Morghast Harbingers. So 2 units of 4 and 2 units of 2. Swaggy, did you see that list yesterday? Like, tier list on shit models, Rob. Yeah, we should do that. Like, but I love that, and that would look amazing on the tabletop as well. It would look so weird and so cool. So, like, where are my OBR archers, Rob? I don't know. I don't know. Like, we know they've got them. We know they've got them. We just don't know why they won't release them. They hate us. Dads and Lads would be good, but they'd have to make Gargants better than a Frostlord. Otherwise, why take them? That's a good point, Jog. Maybe we should talk about that, like, in a lot of ways. So, like, if you were to, like, let's talk about, like, the actual construction of, like, an Ogre's army at the moment, right? It's always just a Frostlord and Stonehorn, another Frostlord and Stonehorn, Hrogthroth, wherever he is. Maybe this big idiot, Kragnos, but we count him out the game, so screw that guy. By the way, temporary out of stock, Morfang pack. Suspicious. They need to make Gluttons better, so it's more of a monster truck rally. Like Rydro, I agree. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it gives them a good opportunity. Okay, let's talk about units that we think need a glow up, right? Maybe we could do sort of like a video. I don't know. We'll just do it ourselves, right? So units that need a glow up, right? Gluttons. Gluttons need a significant glow up, and they need to be significantly different to the way that Iron Guts work. Iron Guts just need to be a heavy infantry slap unit, like that just wreck. They just absolutely wreck, right? So that's what their role in the army should be, right? Gnoblars obviously should just be chaff, and should we take an opportunity to talk about the difference between Gnoblars and Skink? I don't know if there's more of a power bottom, power top dynamic in Age of Sigmar than the humble Skink versus the humble Gnoblar, right? It's like the grossest mismatch of rules, buffs, and abilities that exists in all of Age of Sigmar. It's the most disgusting. Like, these Gnoblars Sure, they throw trash and rubbish, yeah, but like a skink is like one of the scariest units in Age of Sigmar versus never take a Noblars. Like, doesn't even exist on the radar Noblars. Like, look at that list that we were talking about earlier with Toby and the Iron Golems. Iron Golems, 4 up base save. If they don't move, 3 up save. Mark of Tzeentch, reroll 1s. 75 points, 10 wounds, 3 up reroll in 1 save. Like a Noblar. So what's a Noblar? A Noblar over here is like is basically a grot. Just a grot, but they're kind of like, as you can see, they're all over the ogre kits. They're kind of like the assistants. I think they mess up goblins and Noblars. I feel like a full rethink. Stick 10 man on 60 mil bases. Change the rules. Break the mold. That's a great idea. Love that. 30 of skinks are an absolute mess, but I love them. They are so good. I know Noblars are OP as anything. They're not. That's my point, right? Hey, Rob, reviewing Dads and Lads stuff in advance of the new book. You've got it, Dave. That's it. The Dads and Lads review. Anyway, the Dads and Lads. Okay, so gluttons need a significant change and also how are you going to differentiate? That's kind of needs to be the key next point. How are you going to differentiate like gluttons to iron guts? Like, how are you going to differentiate them? How are you going to make them different between the two? That has to be the question you've got to ask yourself. Like, what can we do to make them different? Hello, Dando. Thanks for resubscribing. Thank you. Then you got Noblars, which need to be your chaff. And then you got Lead Belchers. Again, Lead Belchers versus Lumineth Archers. Lead Belchers versus Salamanders. Lead Belchers, because Salamanders, I think, is a good kind of like. I mean, Lead Belchers versus Razordons, like, is another kind of good example. Like, how is a Lead Belcher so bad and a Razordon so, like, still bad, but like better? Let's think of other units. I mean, like, how have you got Lead Belchers and then you got the Bow Snakes? Like, I don't know. Like, Lead Belchers need to have, like, I think they need to be very short range, like a shotgun. Like, maybe even 12 inches. But it's like a big, like, oh boy. You know, make it like fucking D6 damage. D3 damage a shot. Give them like 2 shots that do D3 damage. Like, you know, something big. 3 shots that do D3 damage, but it's super short range. Like, you've got Kurnoth Hunters with bows shooting 30 inches. Yeah, these guys can at least shoot 12 inches and have some big spike damage. Like, what the hell? Like, just have big punchy damage for that unit, but just make it short range. So, like, they have a problem between Gluttons and Iron Guts, and they need to differentiate between the two significantly, in my opinion. Just make one tanky and, like, make this one attrition, so make this a tar pit, the Gluttons. Make the Iron Guts just an absolute swinging donkey hammer. Just make it so, like, it's just a big thunder hammer from space. Yeah, so that's that. And then the problem is the Noblars maybe provide a different role, but you just make it so you can have a unit of cheap Noblars that are a screen, and that's good too. Yeah, make Iron Guts proper scary. So that's Lead Belchers, right? So then you've already got the core of a great army. Make the Tyrant buff some of these units somehow. Yeah, don't make it so he has to fight at the same time. Number 1, make him incredibly scary. Make him as dangerous as like the Lytle Voltharion, Sigvald. You know, put him on that kind of like mini Gotrek style. Put him in that, like, so like, oh my god, the Ogre Tyrant's on the way. So soup that bad boy up. Then you've got like so already you're like, okay, I've got like short range shooting that's powerful, big combat, tar pit, screens, combat character. Then you've got actual artillery, and you've got 2 artillery pieces. You've got one for dealing with hordes, which is a scrap launcher, so just give it special rules into hordes. And then you've got one with dealing with monsters, like, or like big things, and give it like a special into big things rule. Like, it literally writes itself, yet the scrap launcher is atrocious, and the Iron Blaster is atrocious, and it's always been atrocious. Like, you've got so much opportunity to make an incredibly good book, and this is going to be a really, like, so, like, that's always available. Maybe tie Gluttons in with the more magic of the faction. Maybe give them some priest abilities. Yeah! Heck yeah! Go priests! Love that idea. Then you got Thunder Tusk Beast Riders, right? And that's in something all in itself. Make this have like a minus aura, like a Frostheart Phoenix. Like make it do something in the army. Make it a support piece as well as a fighting piece. The Fire Belly, just give it like, just write 6 fire spells, and just make it a level 2 caster. Just make 6 fire spells, make it a level 2 caster. Just be like, there's some crazy Fire Belly in the army. Right? Just go old school, hey XPR rich, or XP rich. Just go like old school, low level. Yeah. Can we just back up a second and mention the Iron Guts carry a fucking cannon? A cannon. Pretty sure they dominated the battlefield when they were introduced. Iron Guts carry. You mean the Lead Belchers? Yeah, the Lead Belchers did once, dominate the battlefield, and they should still dominate the battlefield, right? The Fire Belly should just have 6 spell laws. Level 2 wizard. And you're just like, what is this guy? He's just like casting fireballs, doing damage. I just bought some ogres to make a Warcry warband this past weekend. Oh, that's super lovely. I'm really glad, first time chatter. I hope you enjoy yourself immensely. We're talking about the new Ogre Battle Tome that might be coming up in conjunction with the Gargant's Battle Tome, and what we would like to see. So I guess it's kind of like a wish list show in some ways. But what needs to happen to make the book good? Frost Sabers, obviously, just delete them or make new models. You can't in any good conscience sell them. Throw them in the bin. Gorges, same thing. Throw them in the bin. They're disgusting. Make new miniatures. So we're just going to discount them. There's some scope to make rules to make ogres faction best suited for taking objectives. Feels right thematically, like if an ogre unit contests an objective charge that turn, counts as more on objectives. Yeah, like a kind of thunderous stampede, right? The Morpot can do whatever the Morpot wants to do. Who cares? About terrain pieces. And then you got the Butcher, right? Like, Butcher should just be a sweet ass level 2, level 3 wizard. Like, near the Morpot is a level 3 wizard just dishing out like buffs and debuffs. Less like your Fire Belly should do all offensive magic, and then your Butcher should just do like all like buff and debuff sort of stuff. Maybe just buff stuff, because he's a cook, right? He's cooking stuff up to make the ogres better. So that should be what his thing does. They should get rid of the Slaughtermaster as well, in my opinion. But, Tywin, thanks for resubscribing. And Archeon's Chosen, hello, still here. Love the show and keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Archeon's Chosen. My love to you. They made a plastic Frost Saber. Just make a new sprue for more. No. Did they make a plastic Frost Saber? Not this one. They should get rid of this one. I know what you mean. They did it with Hothgron's boys. They did make a new one. Okay. In which case, you can have Frost Sabers be, I don't know, whatever the hell Aether Wings are. What about Man-Eaters? Why aren't Man-Eaters even in the store? A question mark. Is that just me? Or can anyone see Man-Eaters in the store? I've clicked view all and I see no Man-Eaters. Hashtag Finecast. Ladies and gentlemen, they're not in the store. Have we seen that? Why aren't Man-Eaters in the store? I saw them earlier today, but they're not there now. I've literally clicked Ogre More Tribes, and there are no Man-Eaters in the store. Post on Twitter and send everyone mad. There was a Man-Eater this weekend, but the link was broken. Guess they removed it. Oh my god. There's the one is Plastic Frost Saber in the Underworld's Warband, but you need to buy 2 packs for a unit. If only there was some other way of getting the Sabertooth Tiger models that were everyone knows 3D print. It's just too low quality to compete with this fight against beauty. Dave, you're right. Good morning, Fish. Good morning. So it could be getting reboxed. But ladies and gentlemen, this ain't getting reboxed. Oh boy. Have we just detected something? Oh my goodness. Okay, so it's either getting reboxed. No, because everything's getting reboxed. So it would all come off the store. And Yetis are Finecast, and they're still on the store. Oh boy, Yetis. Also, we should bin off Yetis. Yetis are fun because, like, they've got like an additional range, right? You've got Thunder Tusk. So a Thunder Tusk is like a snowball, like woolly mammoth, basically. So you've got like a big woolly mammoth in Yetis. So you've got like the beginning of like a sub faction, whole other faction where you go like frost monsters, right? And it just stops there. It's just like That's all we got. That's it. 2 things in the line. Hitting on some fine cast ogres at the minute. Terrible product. It's happening. We've detected. Oh, I liked man-eaters. Oh, that's sad. Maybe there's new plastic man-eaters. Um, like maybe there's plastic man-eaters. Okay, all right. Well, let's carry on. What we were talking about. Frostwall and Thundertusk, like again, and Yetis. So like, Yetis give me a new scope for Yetis, and I'm vibing on that a lot. Like, I think that there's something there. Like, maybe add a couple of kits, but at the minute, I'm just going to leave that to the wayside because you just have the Thundertusk do some debuffs, and the Yetis do some sort of debuffs. I guess. Don't really know. So much cool potential with man-eaters. Hope they haven't gone. I mean, hello MB5C. Hopefully, I'm going to captain my first team event next year. Any good resources to check out? Now, captaining a team. Try and make one. I'll try and interview some team captains and then make a resource. How does that sound for you, MB5C? I'll try and arrange a bunch of interviews later this week, and then try and do one. What would be the AOS themed man-eaters be? I hope there is a KO one. Oh yeah. He should. Like that would be cool. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Let's carry on this and then let's talk man-eaters because I'm excited. I'm excited and also sad because I kind of want like because so if you aren't aware, in Age of Sigmar at the moment you can have an allied Gargant, each Grand Alliance, and that includes Chaos and Death. They've all got their own big Gargant that they can put into their army, which is kind of fun. I don't hate the idea that there's also mercenary man-eaters. Bringing that back, like it's just that face that you do. I don't know what it is. The oh my god face. I'm very excited. Interesting question. Do Stormcast on it right? That's not an interesting question. Like, sorry, I just don't care. The answer because it's a fictional world. Gargants should. Okay, all right. So where we at? So we got Frostwall and Thundertusk. Okay. All right, I'm vibing on that. Frostwall and Thundertusk. We've done debuffs, and then you got your Stonehorns, and this is the problem that you're going to have. You've also got heavy cavalry in your Mournfang pack. Like, this is fine. Yeah? Like, you've got a heavy cavalry unit. Make them better. I'm not saying make them Varangard, but I'm saying make them better. Make them do more damage in combat. Make them be buffed. Like, make it so I can, like, build one of these. Like, you've got some crazy opportunities to build units in here. If you take the guy with the banner in the unit, he could just be a solo model. He could be a hero mounted with a banner. Like, so easy to do, right? Like, why they won't do that blows my mind. Yeah, because then already you've got an additional unit that you can add into the army, right? You could have one with like a certain weapon loadout that could also be a character, and then you could have a character, a BSB, and then Mournfang, and then you've got like a whole kind of Mournfang vibe all out the same box, right? Yeah, make them Gore Grunter powerful, right? Make them good, make them fast. Hello, Carl. I just want some buffed up, greased up beefcakes. I agree with you. I'm less bothered about the Mournfang, although I'd like the Mournfang to be good, as I am, like, if they don't make Gluttons, Iron Guts, and Lead Belchers good, it's all over for me. Like, to me, that's Ogres. Like, big units of swole boys is Ogres. And that's all we want. Anyway, so this is the problem, because how are you going to differentiate what Stonehorns are going to do versus what Gargants are going to do in a Battletome? That's the problem, because they both fit the same role. They hold objectives, they run forward and fight. Like, that's all they really do. I guess the Gargants wouldn't do command abilities, and I guess these would be more like generals for an army. But, as we saw in the last edition, the actual army was so shit, talking about the Ogre Gluttons, that they didn't like make it so that they could they didn't make it so that they were actually generals worth taking. Like they need to stop differentiating between Beastclaw Raiders and ogres. Like just get over it. Just get over it. Just live with it. And then you would end up with a really interesting. You would have a really interesting book. You would have ogres and gargants. So you'd have to make the Frostlord and Stonehorn do like a lot of damage, but also give good buffs out to an army. So that's why you took it. Then the gargants almost operate separately. But then if the gargants are just going to operate separately, like if the gargants are going to just be like, we operate completely differently to the ogre book, then why are they in the same book? I don't know. Thanks a little bit level for subscribing. Do you think Gnoblars are too problematic to get real refresh? Question: what is problematic about them? Is it because they're based on racial caricature? Is this the problem that you see? In which case, maybe. I don't think they are. Are they? Are they necessarily based on caricature? I'm sure they probably are. Like I'm sure someone. Are they confirmed as the same book? Or are we still? No, they're not confirmed as the same book. We're still rumor milling, basically. But we were just talking about it because actually I was talking about like I feel like Games Workshop itself have fallen off. We're just talking about anything. I don't know. Proto Tabletop, thanks for resubscribing. I don't know. Maybe like so much of Western fantasy was already built on like racial stereotypes and like racial caricatures that I can't not see it now because to me it's like, well, it's just a goblin. I don't really relate it to anything else. It's not exactly fucking Harry Potter where it's like really on the nose. Hilarious joke. Thank you. Games Workshop old hobgoblins were. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Anyway, like, I mean, ogres are just literally most like fucking Warhammer players right there. Like, I've seen every single one of these lads at a Warhammer tournament. Every single one. Anyway. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see what happens if they integrate them. If they don't integrate them and they're different books, and if we end up with new man-eater models, now let's talk about man-eaters. Okay, I'm excited about this. Okay, let's talk about man-eaters. We should talk about this. Man-eaters, Age of Sigmar. Oh no, let's just talk about man-eaters Warhammer. Because, like... Okay, so these are man-eaters. So this is kind of a man-eater unit. Do we get just an actual full picture somewhere? That would be great. Come on. Stop breaking my balls. Okay, let's try and make that bigger. Okay, so that's your man-eater unit, which still you can't see super well. But you had a ninja man-eater, you had like a pirate man-eater, you had kind of like your Empire, like great weapon man-eater, you had like a Saracen, is that the right word, or a word I can use, I'm not sure. Man-eater on the far left-hand side, then you had like a kind of master of coin man-eater on the left, and then you had a man-eater who I think is the right way to describe it is identifying as a lady on the right-hand side. Yeah, Gag the Gutsman is sick model, and Golf Gag. Oh my god, Golf Gag is great. Mozzo correct. They give them leopard print and make them hang out in dive bars. I don't know much about the current stuff apart from the stuff based in D&D, colonialism, dinosaurs, etc. Yeah, Leo. RIP Dogs of War and the ogre parts of it. Yeah, okay. So these are awesome. And if these got plastic kits, they would be outrageous. These would sell. Like, this is the you can sell it to anyone kit. Because if you could put ogres, specifically man-eaters, into any Age of Sigmar faction, like if there was like if they were mercenaries, ogre man-eater mercenaries exclusively, we lose our minds. We riot. That's the immediate purchase. That's the OK Games Workshop. You've got my money for this purchase. Immediate purchase, right? Like, literally everyone wants a pantomime ogre unit. I agree. Literally everyone. Underworld's tested that theory to the limit. Is there a link to this? What am I missing in reference to this? Where do I see Boxed games, that Underworlds. Why they don't list? Can we just talk about that for a minute? Again, terrible marketing. In the Ogres book, like when I click see all on Ogres, it doesn't have the Underworld's Ogre unit in the list. Like, they're so bad at their jobs. Like, they're so bad. Oh, yeah, the Harrowdeep Pirate. Of course. Hold on, let me go find it. Horse. Is it Warcry? No, it's in. It's okay, I'll find it. I'll find it. Black Powdered Buccaneers. Okay. Oh, yeah, of course, the monkey. Black Powder Buccaneers. This guy. Why wasn't this listed? I mean, obviously, that's fantastic. In every way, right? Underworld's tested that theory to the limit. Yes. So, I mean, this is great. Okay? Like, just a great model, great unit. Just use Google, it's easier than Games Workshop, so. It is. Why isn't that something you could just buy? Why haven't they got that listed as ogres? Because then you might be an Age of Sigmar person or a fantasy person looking at ogres and you'd be like, oh my god, and there's a pathway into a whole other game. God, they're so bad at this. Anyway, that doesn't matter. We know that already. Okay, man-eaters. So, all right. So, give me your top man-eater. Like, what would you like to see? Okay, so like riffing off the Mortal Realms. A KO man-eater's already been suggested. I think that's fun. I love the idea of an Idoneth Deepkin man-eater. I like the idea of trying to ride an eel that's a bit too heavy, or maybe a crab, or Adele is the top man-eater. Wow, Math Mallow. Wow. Boy. Ooh. Okay. There's also a previous Ogre team with the Noblars, that's true. Because sales of that don't go to their bucket of money, it goes to box games, so fuck them, I guess. That's true, Gangster's Paradise. Oh my god, yes, Neuroshock Dubs, I love that idea. I love the idea of a Gitz man-eater. That's really fun. Just an ogre a bit hopped up on mushrooms. Like, it would just look like Nathan. It would be amazing. Like, I would absolutely love that. Hey, first-time chatter. Eagle Acker 226. Eagle Acker 226. Hold on one second. You suggested a man-eater riding or attempting to ride an LRL kangaroo. Okay. Ogre on mushrooms, so Joe Rogan. We've already got Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's already in Warhammer. He's Kragnos. Kragbro. Just look at him. He's DMT'd out the Yazoo. Like, that's what he's doing. Man-eater squeezing some Stormcast armor, fat spilling out. That sounds fun. It's actually called mass, I think, technically. That's what I'm calling mine, anyway. Witch Elf style. Gitz Ogre, who is a hippie. That's a great idea, Gitz Ogre. I love the idea of man-eater attempting to ride an LRL kangaroo. Kangaroo tried his hardest.